Good morning, everyone. I am Laura Tassinari Tauro, the director of the Internationalization of Lazio Innova, the regional company that supports innovation processes for business in the Lazio region, contributing to a connected and international ecosystem. Welcome to the second Global Innovators for Sustainable Smart Culture meeting, organized in this incredible setting, the MIA International Audiovisual Market in Rome, to whom I extend my thanks. Moreover, I wish to thank the buyers and the investors from all over the world who are here present with us today. My appreciation goes to all those who helped bring together this incredible talk in this beautiful restored setting of the Barberini Cinema. I wish also to extend my gratitude to the startups and all our panelists who today will be connected with Rome from all over the globe. This meeting is an important opportunity for sharing. It aims to provide you with the opportunity to become active protagonists of a path we strongly believe in, one of the smart, sustainable culture, an occasion to reflect and co-design together how to boost the prospects with which cultural heritage and smart land offer, aspects in which the Lazio region has invested a lot in recent years. Through this format, we will involve audiovisual storytellers, directors, company, investors, and innovators to help design together ideas for the sustainable future of our territories through increasingly intelligent and connected cultural assets. Today, we will share ideas together. We will get to know each other, and we will share opportunities amongst us and with our international investors. A rich program that my colleague Riccardo Panunzio will illustrate in detail. This is just the beginning. Whoever wants can join our mission and continue together with the other smart communities of makers and gamers, whom we will meet in the next weeks. I wish you all a profitable meeting.
Hello. Yes, my name is Riccardo Panunzio, and I'll be taking you through our thoughts and ideas tied to what we call sustainable smart culture and what our aim is with this meeting. The meeting will take place in three parts. So the first part will be with a number of panelists which come from all over the world. I thank right now Teresa, Potocka, Dušek, Jakub, Pešek, and Alton glass. I'll be saying a little bit more about them later. The second part will be a brainstorming in which we hope you will collaborate and follow us with building together what we want, what we would like is a project and something to build on. And I'll explain what we're looking for. The third part will be a B2B session, which will be upstairs in the terrace. So unfortunately, our panelists who are not here won't be able to participate, but I hope every one of you will. So, sustainable smart culture. Our objective, our aim and goal here is to connect smart communities of innovators in order to create a sustainable smart land through cultural heritage assets. So we start from cultural heritage assets. We're not looking at them as sites, mere sites, but as something more. And what we want to build is that something more. So in order to do so, we have three conditions which we believe have to exist. The first one is a smart community. which is a community of innovators which are connected. We have seen throughout our life, but in particular after COVID, that people need to talk to each other, to speak to each other, to communicate in order to build things which are bigger and larger than themselves or their companies. Communities are the place where this happens, and only when protagonists of innovation come together, then there's a possibility of building something which is larger than yourself. The other condition is one which we call smart culture. Here we are looking at cultural sites which previously we took into consideration, for example, museums, etc., as something which is augmented, that is connected in its context and with its territory. Okay, so it's not just a cultural site by itself. The other aspect which we're looking for is it's a cultural site which produces data and has an impact. I'm thinking also of the Eco Atlas, which was recently announced by the Italian railway system, which is working together with the hamlets and citadels of Italy and the pathways in slow tourism form. So it's connecting these cultural sites together and looking at them no longer as sites but as assets. Okay, and the third condition is what we call smart land. Okay, smart land is something where widespread and shared policies by public and private bodies come together in order to create attractiveness to a territory. Okay. Here, in this case, I'm talking about sustainability, social cohesion, dissemination of knowledge, and creative growth. Here, in what we're looking at is something which is more human-centered. So we go from what was a view of a location per se to a living body. Okay. So cultural heritage. There's a number of challenges with cultural heritage. We've been working, or at least I've been working for the past 15 years on a number of projects which used or tried to leverage tech in various forms in order to attract and engage customers. I thought we did some great things, but they haven't really survived. So this is the reason why we're looking at it from a different point of view and why we're coming over to you. But apart from that, there are a number of challenges. One is polarization. Many cities have one very important monument or heritage site, which is basically the black hole in a certain sense. Rome has the Colosseum, Paris, the Eiffel Tower. Everything goes there, okay? And it's very important, we believe, to give the opportunity to other cultural sites to connect with the economic framework around it and give opportunities both to the people who live there, but also to companies. Another problem with cultural heritage is it's very analogic. We're talking about audio guides in the 40-50% case, very low levels of digitalization. The data there, the data is missing, and it's not shared, and that's another huge problem. Disconnection is what we mean by the fact that it's not connected with its surrounding. It tends to be something which usually stands alone. Okay, and clearly there's a part of lack of data, which what you cannot what you cannot measure doesn't exist. Okay, so it's very important to have that sort of information. So what we're looking for? We're looking for something which is a new view. Actually, I'll be showing you in a few seconds a video of something which we prepared, which we did. I think 8 years ago. It's probably old, but it's still the vision we want, in the sense that it aims to connect different sites. So see it with that point of view, with that hindsight, and it seeks to engage the tourist in a different manner, okay, using technology, clearly. So I'll share this with you. Okay, thank you. So that was done by Nicolas Ganga, which is unfortunately couldn't be here with us today. So we're coming over to you because we have a number of meetings, which I'll show later, and we're going to makers, storytellers, audiovisual storytellers, and gamers. So we're looking at different points of views. We want to hear what you feel can be done on that in order to create and develop together sustainable cultural heritage projects. Okay. We have just been last week to the Maker Fair. This year, where Mia and in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be going to the Gamers or Gaming World at the Rome Video Game Lab. Okay. So what we're looking for your point of view, because you're good at telling a story, you're good at visualizing it, okay, and you're good at directing. So I think those are three attributes which are great and which can contribute to what we're aiming. So we'll move on to the speakers, to the panelists, which I am very honored to have with us. And I'd like this to be a journey, okay? We are connected from outside, so there may be some problems, so do bear with us on that side. So we'll start off with Teresa Potocka as a founder and CEO of Sensethefuture Pictures in London. She's a broadcast producer and award winner. And her company, his mission is to create uncompromising, engaging context. Okay, so her talk will be on Perfetti Sconosciuti. I see her already connected. I'll just quickly go through the steps which we would like. Then we'll have Dušek, who will be talking about his video mapping and all his tech projections onto the cultural heritage sites. I've given him an hashtag of digital skin, and he is presently involved in a 3-day 10th anniversary of Signal. Then Jakub Pešek will bring us his Lunchmeat, which is an incredible festival of music. So we're looking at the music aspect, which is music and visual coming in there. And then we have also Alton Glass from the other side of the world, who needs a little presentation, and he will be talking about also his jump from directing to the immersive media. So that's another aspect. So thank you, Teresa. I see you looking lovely and smiling there. So the word to you. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Riccardo. Hello, everyone. I'm Teresa Potocka, founder of Sensethefuture Pictures. So feel free to tweet anytime, because this is something I always forget to say, so I'd like to say it to you all. I'm at Potocka Teresa, and of course you have the Mia hashtags as well that you can use throughout this discussion, as it's going to be an interactive session. So to keep you all happy and excited throughout the remainder of the day. So last month, NASA successfully altered the motion of a 530-foot wide asteroid, marking the first time humanity has altered the motion of a celestial body. On Tuesday, a talking robot let Lords in the House of Lords, the upper house of the Parliament of the United Kingdom, prove they're plugged in when Ada Muller, an artist, brought his robot Ada Dar to a parliamentary committee meeting where the machine fell asleep. Today, Kwasi Kwarteng, our Chancellor in the UK, was sacked. These events either are or aren't of consequence, depending on your perception of reality, but each of them is significant and has brought about change. Here is what we're going to do today. We're looking to the narrative from Perfect Strangers, or Perfetti Sconosciuti, as the basis for strengthening your connections around you today at Mia and online. You'll be stepping outside your normal business and social circles and creating the opportunity to collide with new people. To involve you as part of my introduction to this session, I will apply a storytelling construct from the film to engineer serendipity. So not exactly altering the motion of a celestial body, but simply to catalyse innovation at the Mia market and beyond. When we take the narrative from Perfect Strangers, that's successful around the world, and recreate it here today through our interactions, this is the starting point for something bigger and better after the pandemic. With Mia as the backdrop for this social experiment, and myself as the perfect stranger and founder of Sensethefuture Pictures, talking to you today. Hello? Can you hear me? Talking to you today from Cannes. I invite you to get involved in teamwork on the fly. I'm just checking that it's working.
Yes, we can hear you.
It is working. Okay, sorry. It's just I can't sometimes tell if it's just the connection. Firstly, I'd like you to think of your favourite sports team. Sports teams embody the formal definition of a team, a stable, bounded group of individuals who are interdependent in achieving a shared outcome. Why am I suggesting teaming? Well, more and more of us have to work with different people to get our work done, and more often with perfect strangers. At Sensethefuture Pictures, my content and communications business, and as in many companies, we don't have the luxury of outside stable teams. In fact, stable teams. And increasingly, as with so many companies, for a lot of work that we do today, we work with perfect strangers. And here, much of the time, we limit the way we engage with each other to quick interactions. With this in mind, here is what we're going to do. I'd like you to turn your phones on, if you haven't got them on already, and to tell the person on your left or right what the last text message you receive says. And if you are online, please tell the person closest to you. Now, ask the person how they would respond to this message. That's the next step. Now tell them how you would respond to it. No secrets are going to be revealed here, but I would now like you to find out one key fact about the person you are talking to. What's their secret skill? Of course, I'm not quite sure what's going on in the room right now, so I'm probably running quite fast through this, but what we're trying to find out, the next step will be what's someone's secret skill that you're going to be having conversation with or you're already having conversation with. So ask where the skill comes from, why are they successful at what they do, and how can this help you today in your business dealings? So those are the steps we're going to go through. We're going to talk to someone that we're sitting next to. We're going to ask them about the text message. Then we're going to find out what secret skill they have that can help you in your business dealings. You're going to find out where that skill comes from and what makes them successful at that. So that's four things you're going to do. So consider how much effort and energy it takes to actually pay attention while you're doing this to someone. And if you can't do that, then you're not present and you're not in conversation and you're not connecting. So once you have shared this information, after the panel is over, I would like you to introduce the person you spoke to two more people, and vice versa. So by the time this exercise is over, and this is a social experiment we're doing for the reason that we've all been stuck inside for far too long during the pandemic, we all seem to feel, okay, we've moved on from that, but actually we're still not connecting with each other in the way that we could be. So this is just to help everybody engage with each other at the end of the day in the second part of the session at the Mia Market. And as in the film, but with a point of difference, any business challenge that presents itself is the problem to solve here. So between 6 of you, I'd like you to find a solution to one business challenge. So by the time, let's say it's 8 o'clock this evening, you should be having a discussion with a number of people and talking about a business challenge, if this experiment is working the way I'm presenting itself. And then to tell me about it later. So what I'm doing here is I'm fusing a form of fleeting intimacy and engineering serendipity. And believe me, it does work. But you follow the steps first, and then we'll see what the results are afterwards. So in the film Perfect Strangers, just to give you the backdrop, if you're not familiar with this particular film, on the evening of a total eclipse of the moon, 7 close friends gather for a dinner party. The protagonists of the choral comedy, written by the director, together with Filippo Bologna, Paolo Costella, Paolo Mamini, Rolando Ravello, excuse me if my pronunciation isn't quite right, are friends who during the dinner decide to play an exciting and dangerous game. They put their phones on the table and share all the messages, emails and calls they receive during the evening in an attempt to prove to others they have nothing to hide. So what do you have to hide today? But actually, we're just relating here to the storytelling construct, so you don't have to worry about anything here. So Perfect Strangers is the most remade movie in the history of cinema. The 18 remakes of the movie in total have recorded revenues of 500 million euros. Among them, their remakes are made in Greece, Spain, Turkey, India, France, South Korea, Mexico, Hungary, China, and Russia, to name a few. So indulge me and become perfect strangers at the Mia market. Try ancient fast food in a thermopolium, which is a cook shop, as I understand it, place where something hot is sold, and was a commercial establishment where it's possible to purchase ready-made food, but is an ancient form of fast food. And then text me the results. Prepare to be amazed, go out, talk to people, listen to people, and prepare to be prepared to be amazed again. Thank you very much for listening. And I'd like to leave you with a quote from Chelsea Manning. There were two worlds, Manning told the New York Times magazine in a published interview, the world in America and the world I was seeing in Iraq. I wanted people to see what I was seeing. Thank you very much for listening. Send me a message after your dinner discussion and the market, and feel free to hashtag anything that you find interesting in this particular presentation, and to email me as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Teresa, for sharing and kicking off the B2B later on. I'm sure you'll get a lot of feedback on that. Actually, that film is quite frightening when you start thinking about it, sharing a phone. But still, thank you very much again. Now we should have Roman Dušek online. No, I can't see. Okay. No? Okay. So we'll go on. Maybe we'll catch up with him later. With Jakub Pešek. I see him online. Thank you for joining us. And the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jakub Pešek, and I'm directing a festival which is focused on electronic music, experimental electronic music, and new media arts. Probably would be great to showcase one of the videos from this year's edition. So if I can ask somebody controlling the videos to play let's say the day 6.
Hello? Yeah, we have a video of your 2012, the third reel of it, if that's all right with you. 2021. One from 2019 and one from 2021.
I sent you 6 videos, so
yeah, sorry, the videos we were unable to download.
All right, so the one from last year is pretty all right.
Okay, we'll send that on now. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This year it's not showing very much. It's this is one of the performances, and basically what you can see, there's musicians on stage, and they're accompanied by some visual element which is quite large scale video projection. And this is one of the parts what we really like to showcase, and be involved in, and that's a connection of the media. So the feeding of the senses, not only the audio part but also the visual part, is really important. And we're doing this project already since 13 years ago. So this one was 13th edition, and every year we invite around let's say 45 artists, like international artists. The festival takes 6 days. We're changing like a couple of venues from more like cinema-like projects, which are presented in some large-scale formats. For example, one of the venues in Prague, it has like 20 meters wide projection screen. So that's really immersive experience when you're like sitting next to, very close to the screen. It really immerses you, so like you feel it like you're part of basically like all the visuals. And then the 3 main days, they are happening in a basement of National Gallery, where actually there used to be a cinema some years ago. Then like it was like basically like the cinema burned out in late 70s, and it was reconstructed to very plain and minimal shape, like a concrete. It looks like almost like a concrete bunker. So like even like this atmosphere where we like stand the festival on is something like very very interesting. And basically like we started just to feel a lack of similar like a promotion of like these musical genres, and also like lack of presentation of the projects which involve not only the sound but also the visual. So we started to work on the project, and like during those like 13 years, we brought around 600 international musicians, or like even like the artists, to Prague. And we became a collective which was really surrounded by something what they love, and that's very important. And this basically gave us opportunities to even work on some another projects which are connected to audiovisual arts. So we started to build a second pillar important for Lunchmeat. The pillar is creative studio. So people who work for the festival, they started to work for the creative studio as well, and that's what gave them a chance to basically survive, because like these like cultural projects, they are like not that much bringing financial, very like positive financial results. So like we were really looking for something like what can help us to earn money, for the living. And during the last couple of years, we end up that we worked as a supplier, main supplier of, for example, some galleries. We built like immersive audiovisual system in a new emerging gallery in the center of Prague, containing 13 projectors and 10-channel sound. We did a project with or for one educative museum. It was like a museum of dinosaurs, where we've been asked to work on all the graphic design, light design, all the technical infrastructure, interactive technologies, and many more. So that's the important and interesting thing, that like based on only the interest in some new media and some innovative approach on using the new media, we even started to be kind of successful in the commercial part of the world. And also, like what I would like to say, that these people, they are like we met during the first years of the festival. They were like young students from art schools. So those who started to be technically technically skilled, they were able to work in a studio, and also they can become every year. Few of them, they can become a part of the festival, and they can exhibit or perform the work they at the fields of Lunchmeat Festival. Also, like what is quite interesting, is actually like one of the most important parts of the festival are creative residencies. And that usually it used to work that like we even like brought artists to Prague, and they spent 14 days together, like the musician and visual artist, and they were like preparing completely new set, like a site specific set for Lunchmeat Festival. So they did some set design, light design, projection, like it depends, because like each year we were inviting different studios or artists focus on different technologies. So like there have been involved lasers, projections, like really like some special materials, analog lights, many things. Nowadays it has changed a lot, because people can be like much more and easier way connected through some social networks, some video calls, etc., etc. So we run these residencies in digital world, and they come only like 2 days before the festival to the spot, and they just like fine tune what was done basically remotely. So yeah, well, you can see like many festivals like similar to Lunchmeat all over the world, in the major European or world cities. For us, it was like a really pioneering project, because not many similar things were happening in Prague. The audience were not educated that much. So it's super important then that something like this is happening in Prague, and what is like widening the spectrum of cultural activities in the city. And what is really important, that it's really bringing to the game new media, and innovative technologies. Here you can see some of the pictures from the recent years, even with some press mentions, and that's probably like the basic info about us. You can find many more things on our social media. You can even check not only Lunchmeat Festival, but you can even check lunchmeatstudio.com, where we have some commercial projects with quite often with some like artistic approaches. And in case if anybody will be interested talking to me or to us, you can everywhere find our contacts, and we will be happy to share our experiences, thoughts, and whatever would be we will be asked for. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Jakub. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we should have Alton Glass online. Just check with the direction if he's there. Yes, okay. So great, we can see you, Alton. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so first I'd like to go through a couple of questions. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've prepared a couple of questions, and we have some videos of yours, the ones you sent us over. When would you like them to be shown, or how do you prefer to go about it?
Totally up to you. I'm here for the ride.
Well, I really appreciate it, Alton. Thank you very much. Okay, so you did the jump, so to speak, from directing, okay, very successful career on that side, into immersive media. Do you believe, I understood that you went into immersive media because it's something that all of a sudden excited you. I saw a story about the NASCAR you tried out. But starting from there, do you believe that that actually creates greater contents, and how?
Yes, I do believe immersive storytelling can bring a more enhanced experience. The first VR experience I did try out was a NASCAR experience, and it was something I grew up watching, and actually getting a chance to be inside of a NASCAR race was really fascinating and really sparked my imagination. But after that, I realized that yeah, bringing together storytelling, education, and technology could bring about innovation. And then I started to really get engaged with communities. And that's what really made me stick with continuing to pursue immersive storytelling as a business and as a CEO of GRX Immersive Labs and a storyteller.
Yeah, so you touched on a couple of points there, which we're very interested, which we were talking about, communities and the concept of actually going beyond the connection between people and creating something more out of the communities. So that's great. On the entertainment side, okay. We're showing some of a video of yours in the background without the audio, if that's all right with you, as we talk. Okay, this is from your. It's one of your latest endeavors, correct? It's the March, correct?
Yeah, the March. Time, yes, with Time Magazine in March, executive produced by Viola Davis and her company Julie. That's actually a 3D rendering of Dr. King on the cover. And you get a chance to meet him inside of the VR experience, where we recreated the entire March on Washington and captured those cultural sites. Scanning, doing photogrammetry on the exact locations and recreating those and bringing them into virtual reality for people to experience those sites.
So basically, you can march with, you can relive the march. That's quite incredible. It's something which we had a view in the video which I showed earlier on. This was 10 years ago. You're making it real. How much is tech important or storytelling as far as you're concerned?
Oh, you made a good point about, bringing these together for cultural heritage. But I think that it starts with storytelling and education, and then the tech empowers the ideas, which leads to innovation. So to me, I'm always going to lean on storytelling and then educating people on how to use technology to amplify your stories and the things that you do to create that innovation.
Okay, yes. Another aspect which really interested me is the education side. It's something which I understand. We also have a video of that. Maybe we'll see it a little bit later. The one with Adobe you sent over. You very much believe in that part of creating greater knowledge. Okay, sharing the knowledge. Okay, is there something you'd like to add on that, or what's your views on that side?
Yeah, I think that you made a good point about innovation, right? So, but I think anyone can be an innovator, but first, you must be an agitator. You have by challenging the problem, and then finding innovative solutions. So, through storytelling, and educating people on how to use these particular skills, talents, or upskilling them. We all understand, how to tell stories. We live them every day. But when you can get educated on how to leverage your unique point of view, your perspective, and then you marry that on top of being educated with the technology, then it puts you in a lot more position to empower yourself and then communities have an opportunity to bring their own vision, so they can take ownership and invest in these long-term goals and be sustainable. Because if I do it for you, you only can do it one time. But if I teach you how to do it, then you can continue to do it and then share that with someone else and then make these ideas more sustainable. So I believe it's really important to educate and bring those three-prong approach, between storytelling, education, and technology together, to really, really grow and get these projects going and amplify culture.
Yeah, Alton, you touched on a couple of tags, agitating or agitator and upskilling, something which we believe in very much. And thank you for bringing that as a point. Also, you made a reference to cultural heritage as assets. Okay, so it's not just the location of the space, but what it means to people and how people should, in a certain sense, well, not more than in a certain sense, should get back, okay, become owners once more of what is their territory and what is their land. Okay, so that's what we were looking for, and I really appreciate you touched that. What does culture mean to you? And how do you bring it into your work, apart from the march?
Yeah, I mean, culture to me is it's community. It's engaging with those around you, understanding what they want, and how they can bring their ideas. Because sometimes you can't see everything, and to be able to work with community and engage them is something that I learned along the way. That's what culture is to me. It's community in a sense. Um, and growing together for some of the common goals.
Okay, GRX Immersive Labs. What's the next step for you, or what project you're working on, which you think is the most exciting?
Oh, when I worked on the March, I fell in love with Unreal Engine, world building, and motion capture. So we recently opened up a motion capture studio in Venice in partnership with Electroshock Studios. And we also launched a Unreal Engine training program to train other world builders and storytellers and help them upskill to understand how to do this, as well as photogrammetry. So we have a partnership with USC also, where we'll be called the Charlotta Bass XR Lab, where we'll be training individuals on how to go and capture these cultural heritage sites and scan and bring those assets, and then ultimately be able to understand how to monetize that so that they can generate revenue in their communities. But overall, it's about content. And then we also launched a project with Verizon, 5G Labs, where we create it's a virtual reality experience and desktop experience where individuals learn how to create music and they understand the history and tie their culture with the history of sound and music.
Well, that's great. You're doing some wonderful work, and we'd very much like to connect up with you and see what we can do on this side. As you know, Rome is quite old and has a lot of cultural heritage sites, so it would be lovely to have them expressed, okay, through a new type of visualization, which creates engagement with the public. So I hope you will join us in this new view.
Thank you. Yes, if you want to check out the app, it's called artsbeatstech.com. artsbeatstech.com, and we'll be bringing in assets from around the globe into this application to tell stories around the world.
Okay, so we'll try and build them together. Okay. Could you repeat the name, please?
Oh, the name of the app is called artsbeatstech.com. You can find it on the website, or you can go to Horizon Innovative Learning and sign up, and you can find the app as well. If you type in GRX, it'll come up.
Okay. Okay, Alton, well, thank you very much. It's been a real honor to be able to talk to you in this fireside chat, as you called it. It's time for your breakfast now, because we caught you before it, I think. So we really, really appreciate it. And do stick around if you want. Now we're going on to the... we have a video from Roman, which I don't think has been able to join us. And we will be sharing that online on the broadcast, and then there'll be some questions. Thank you once more, Alton.
What y'all are doing? Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so the last person, unfortunately, we were not able, I understand, correct? To get in touch with. As I said, he's in the middle of his 10th anniversary of his festival, which is called Signal. It's a huge event in Prague, which has entertained more than 3 million people. I have a video which I wanted to share with you, which is the one which was made and created for in Rome at Palazzo Braschi of Comenius, which is one of the Czechs' most famous educators from way back. And so we'll be seeing the video of video mapping of this special event, which was recreated. And so as far as I can see, or what I wanted really to share with you, was this fil rouge of a number of activities which we believe can be put into practice in order to engage in a different manner and interest clients, customers, tourists, and how to get together in order to develop different projects. And that's what the aim of our meeting here. So we've been through music, we've been through the immersive side, and now we're going to go through the video mapping. Okay. Okay, so that was from Roman Dušek, the Vision Factory. The video was nice, I think, but the video mapping experiences, I imagine all of you have seen them. If you haven't, you must go see. Live, they're another matter. Here, it gave an idea, but live, it's quite incredible what they can recreate. So now we're going to go on to another, the second part of the session, which is one of sharing and feedback on your side. So now we're going to go and see your point of view. I'll give the floor to Andrea Romagnoli, who will be interviewing. There he goes. And we'll have in the background also, if you go to the next slide, thank you. In the background, we have some of the ideas which we've been tossing around and hashtags which we think can be useful in the discussion. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much. So basically, we have something like 20 minutes before we're going to upstairs to the terrace, where we're going to have the networking lunch. I think everybody's just waiting for that moment. Basically, thank you very much. I would like to use our time in a very fructuous way, because we have here a bunch of companies, the startups that our international friends invited by Mia don't know at all. We don't have the time to let them introduce, but I would like to use this time to have our international audience to introduce themselves, to know maybe also explain us what are the sectors they are looking for, collaboration, co-productions, or maybe even other types of collaboration. I was checking out the list, and I saw that we have here a bunch, basically ranging from production to the platforms, to the streaming free platforms. So I think it's an occasion for us to know what our international friends are here to talk about. So if I can give you the floor, I will just pass the mic to you.
Yes, hello. Hello, I'm Julian Leroux. I'm a TV producer. I have a production company based in London, which is called Paper Entertainment. We are producing and developing scripted series. Yeah, I don't know.
It's okay.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Rick Jacobs. I'm from Skybound Entertainment. We're a multi-platform company. We make a lot of different kind of content. I focus in film and television. We also make podcasts, video games, comic books, all kinds of different kinds of merchandise. Yeah, that's.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Rick. Hi, Adam Lewinson. Chief Content Officer with Tubi. We're a platform, free streaming platform owned by Fox, based in Los Angeles. What should I share? We've been here having some lovely co-production meetings. We acquire and create tons of content. I think that's it. I'm going to hand it off to my friend Brandon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brandon Zeman, and I work for a company called Constantine Film. We are a German film and television production and distribution company, and I work in the Los Angeles office looking after television.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Vincent Webbering. I'm the founder of Possess TV. We strive to be Europe's most favorite cross-cultural, all-inclusive TV platform. We currently have 260 partners, 50,000 films, and launched in February 2021.
Thank you very much. So this was useful for us to understand that we have a very good blend of also opportunities for our companies here in the networking session, either in terms of geographical spread, I think, and also in terms of sectors. As we started this meeting today, we were stressing one aspect, which is for us is quite crucial, we were talking about smart communities. I think that either you are in the co-production or production or platforms, you still have to tackle the most important and relevant aspect. How do I get real interest of my community? I would like to, I think here we have more also mics, to, if you have anything to say, and this is open to all the audience, to say what is your experience in terms of creating your own community. I mean, we don't have enough time to tackle all the aspects that are included here, but if we don't consider communities only like clients, but also like a wider aspect of our business, network, whatever, I think that your experience for us, it could be quite interesting to get to know. So if anybody can raise up the hands and tell his experience, we would be more than happy to share with us. Also, of course, people who are connected in streaming. So Teresa, Jakub, Alton, of course.
Hi, I'm Marzia. I run a post-production facility in Rome, and we do mainly audio. And what I wanted to share, I think, is quite interesting, because we started off in a very traditional way, doing post-production and dubbing, of course, localization, which is very big in Italy. But then what we realized was that there was a lot more potential trying to connect to all other sectors. For example, and this is very, it sounds quite trivial, but audio guides, and then it became more complex audio guides with geolocators and all sorts of very sort of interesting projects sort of evolved from that. And again, communities are important. We started connecting way before the pandemic to our to other international studios, and we started to do remote recording way before the pandemic. And then, of course, in the pandemic, that became very, very important. So what we realized was that we started to, again, connect even with people who seemed a little bit outside the typical audiovisual sector. And again, sort of brainstorming and getting ideas about sort of new creative projects. And, you know, people would think, well, you do post-production, so maybe you're not interested in developing or creating projects. But then, no, it became very interesting to actually develop projects with producers. So I completely agree on the idea of expanding and connecting, even with, you know, people or companies who seem completely unrelated, because things do evolve out of that. And technology really helps these days. It really helps to make ideas sort of happen and come to life. So it's a very personal experience, but I'd like to share that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to?
So one of the big challenges we had building our platform is, I'm an expat myself. I am originally from the Netherlands, but live in another country, in Italy, in fact. That Europe never really managed to create one European identity, even though TV culture is incredibly important to open up windows to different cultures, to get a better understanding of ourselves and who other people are. And when we started to onboard a lot of this content, what we found is that it is very difficult to see television, even within Europe. And the European market currently is quite flooded by, and that's with the greatest respect, but by American TV culture. And I think it is time that, you know, Europe needs to unify and solve a lot of these problems.
The greatest challenge ever, I think. But your point is quite good. Starting from the social topics, then trying to leverage on the humans that want to have a common goal. It can be the point, but yes, we, for example, in our case, in our region, Rome, we understood how many hidden desires are really unveiled. And this is so important for us, just to build up on these desires, which are maybe embedded in people, maybe also after 2 years of struggling within home. So thank you for your indication. Anybody else like to share his view on that point? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jakub, and I have a company which produces immersive audio content. So I come from the creative side, and parallel hi, we know each other. And I would like to start, I made some data gathering during this talk. And the word smart came out 14 times. The word sharing 5. The word innovation 5. Sustainability 4. Culture 12. International 3. So building communities is difficult. Technology helps. You need to have something in common. And I believe that we have in common the need to be smart. And we have a sharing culture. Even though we come from Rome, we do live in Europe. We share a lot of things thanks to technology. And my experience has been up to now that I managed to share. I'm taking part of a new on Discord channel, on the audio channel for Unreal Engine, which is a technology, I believe it's becoming really useful in virtual production and very used. And problems and trying problem solving is a point from where people start to build communities. So when we have a problem and we share a problem, which can be a bug in the software or how you're going to solve this issue, people come and everybody pinches with his own or her own idea, and suddenly a topic becomes very popular. And this is like a very important thing. So trying to understand problems and trying to solve them together. So make the right question, you'll have the correct answer.
My name is Janeček. I'm here. I'm from Prague, where we run this Burek documentary production. We were selected here for documentary pitching with a project on progress, which also attracts this also the topic of progress innovation, which is something very substantial. We talked here, for example, with a woman from the company for drinks, the Red Bull, and who are somehow associated with progress. And at the same time, when we came to the point, they say they never changed their recipe of their product. So core of the company is never changing. On the other hand, the image is absolutely evolving, etc. We are talking about building communities, and sometimes I think it's being forgotten that people are losing notion how communities are constructed politically, how the frameworks are organized by governance, etc. We are making documentaries which are very often dealing with social, political topics, and I think it's a challenge for all these movements which are dealing with immersive things, that they are a little bit losing notion of this social side of our reality, and that it's also important.
Thank you very much. Your point made me, while you were talking, it opened me some glimpse about. I was reading a couple of days ago. It was in our new major newspaper. In Rome, we are suffering, and I guess in all the major towns, of something like a very big index of death of cinemas. I mean, something we're talking about maybe last 10 years, about the digital would kind of kill the cinemas. Now we are here in a cinema. The greatest cinema that I had in my neighborhood has died 10 days ago. So, I mean, I don't want to open a discussion which is too large, but since the digital came into, I mean, the movie production, since Netflix, Amazon, Paramount, Facebook, I mean, here at MIA we have a lot of producers, broadcasters, but nobody is really courageous to talk one fact. I mean, the community that were behind, also the movie lovers, the cinema lovers, are somehow really in a difficult position. They see that the storytelling, the movie production, everything is really now taking a direction which is really very codified. It's so global, and somehow the quality is also going down. And the result is also that the community, for example, the cinema lovers, are also losing ground. They don't get affection anymore to cinemas. And in Rome, is the data is that I was reading something like 1/3 of the cinema has closed in the last 10 years. 1/3 is a lot, especially in a 4.5 million town like Rome. It means a lot of opportunities, a lot of culture, a lot of entertainment which is lost. How, and this ask also to our friends from abroad, from US, how are you thinking that this is tackled, or what is your idea in US, for example, or abroad?
Well, I would say one of the things that we've noticed from a trend perspective in the United States, and I think there's a lot of data that speaks to this, is that film and television entertainment is no longer the most popular entertainment in the world. And if you look at the demographics around that, you'll see that each subsequent generation is leaning more towards interactivity and further and further away from lean back entertainment. So that results in a lot of small theaters going away, and the theatrical experience needs to change if it's going to keep up. I don't know that I necessarily look at that as a bad thing. I think there's a potential for progress there, and there's a potential for innovation. But certainly right now, particularly coming after the pandemic, where people were afraid to convene in a place like a theater, the theatrical market's incredibly challenged. I would, of the things that you just said, though, the only thing that I would disagree with is the idea that the quality has gone down. I do think that that the quality in film and television that I see globally is better than it has ever been. We're making more volume of content than we ever have before, and I think the result of that is you see great quality. You just don't see it in the same places that you used to. And so, but I do think that the audience knows where to find the quality, and so even though they might be choosing to find that quality on a platform like Sam's instead of going into a movie theater, it doesn't, to me, take away from the value of the content that we're creating as an industry.
Thank you so much. You really gave a precise insight. I agree with you 99%. Hollywood production has a little bit gone down. As a movie lover, I have to say that maybe you're right. Korea and other countries, Germany, producing amazing movie. But when we talk about Hollywood, my God, I mean, Avengers and all this stuff. I mean, Netflix have taken the majority. All the major actors are going on Netflix, Amazon. People who used to love a certain time of American movie, like myself, I'm from Attrition, my father was a movie distributor. We are a little bit just looking around. Okay, what's happening? It's like you said, it can be an opportunity. Nevertheless, what you said is the most important thing: the progress, the innovation. This is also an opportunity. So I think that the theater crisis, which is I think around all the world, not only in Italy or in Rome, it can be an opportunity. But I do believe it's an opportunity if we liaise with the right communities of people. Because if it's only, I think, changing of the paradigm. I mean, more online, more Netflix, more streaming. We only substitute something with another. I think, like you said, there is a great chance over there. All guys around the world, it can be US, Japan, Korea. We saw the spread of Korean movies. It's incredible. I mean, in Italy, the majority of the series were from Korea. This is something really a shift, a paradigm shift. I mean, they're coming from a complete different culture. So I fully agree with what you said. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and I really hope also here at the Networking Cocktail that all the guys here with their companies can have a chance to introduce their own productions. Here, I was checking out our list of companies that will be at the networking. There are something like 1/3 production, 1/3 services like post-production, FX, and 1/3 mostly doing valorization also of cultural heritage through storytelling, audiovisual. I really do hope that you can also have a fructuous discussion with them over there. Okay, I think that we have still time for one question or intervention, if there's any.
Hello? Yeah, sorry, I just had one from before. Because
thanks.
Yeah, my company actually comes from a very smart, very international, very big community, but it really struggles to come out of there. So it's my company. We do scientific documentaries and VR applications, and even after the Big Bang Theory, it's really difficult to talk about science in the entertainment world, and it's really difficult to actually meet people which are not from that world. So my part, I'm a creative director there. My part is actually to bring a link between this world here and that world there, which are really two worlds apart, but which I think is really interesting to understand. So this is something I was looking at the mind map here, and it's quite fascinating because you should see the mind maps of the scientists, and that's a totally different thing. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Still time for another. Yep.
Let me try to summarize this beautiful mind mapping, and let me somehow, even if I'm an accountant, let me somehow try to be romantic. Well, if you see this mind mapping right in front of us, we see the situation. Sorry, the situation how it is today, you know. But you know, I'm starting getting old enough to know how the cinema industry changed from the late 70s. I was one of the one that saw Star Wars in screen at the first time he came out. So, I mean, it was quite an emotion. So, from the end of the 70s down to mid-80s, there was very lack of cinemas in Rome. Probably, Andrea, you remember that, no? That the cinemas were really going down. Suddenly, in the mid-80s until now, let's say, they grew. The industry grew again. And what's kind of surprising, several cinemas were transformed into multisala, where they were shared by several rooms where more movies were projected. Then, now again, the cycle is going down. The cycle is going down, as we know, with the platforms and so on. So if we summarize all those words we have right in front of us, we can summarize them as an evolution. The market is evolving, and it evolves since the 70s, and we saw it. So the best way, according to me, according to my experience, the secret is to evolve with the market. Because if we lose that moment, if we lose the evolution of the moment, then we will fall back, then we will step behind. And to my experience, I want only to add that to try to evolve for the next times. Thank you very much.
We love romantic guys. I am one of them. Okay, so anybody else? Right, sorry? Yeah, this is the very last one.
Okay, after the accountant, the financial part, so the bad person for last. I don't think there is a platform war or the word war is absolutely wrong. As Alessio said, the market is evolving. So, in my opinion, reading the everyday data, speaking every day with the financial market, external to the movie industry too, I see that the only problem is the lack of evolution of all the distributable theatrical contracts and so on. So what we can do is go in tech, is going in the evolving the tech part. There are a lot of ways actually to keep community together, because communities just are built in many cases for every product. We have to visualize where they are. As always say to the people that send us scripts, I never read a bad idea on a script or a bad script, but sometimes I read a product that is not well fitted with this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your point is maybe the crucial one, as always finding, screenplays amazing. Okay, so I think that it's high time we go. We really would like to thank you for staying here. Also, our guests from Prague, from Los Angeles, from Cannes, but from London. So thank you very much for having been with us. I would like to thank our director, Engineer Laura Tassinari, and of course all the guys of Mia, Riccardo, who has been so good to keep the time. And also, of course, my colleague Simona, the mind mapper girl. Okay, she much more than that. Basically, we are now going to the terrace. We accompany you if you haven't been already to the terrace here. So just follow us where the networking cocktail is waiting for you. We will help you, especially our international friends, to stay in a table where the other companies will have a chance to talk with you. There will be also other guys from abroad which couldn't attend the talk, but they're already there in the terrace. So thank you very much. We see upstairs for wine and everything. Thank you.
Thank you.